Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars.
SoundCartel.
From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. When it comes to marketing, Tom Polland has tried and tested everything, from TV, newspaper and radio ads to direct mail, remember that? Direct and social media marketing, SEO, SEM, you name it. And you know what he's found that works the best? It's tapping into the networks of others. Tom is the founder of Leadsology. He spent 40 years in marketing, spoken internationally, and written multiple bestsellers on the topic. And he still says that other people's networks are the gold to building a thriving network of your own, so long as they align with your audience and what you sell. Because no matter where you advertise or market yourself, you must understand a fundamental question. Tom's explaining to Chris Ashmore.
What is the reason why people are there? And we humans love to hang out in groups. There's Facebook groups, there's LinkedIn groups, there's business networking meetings, there's trade shows, there's conferences, there's book clubs. We're always in a group. Well, very often we're in a group. So when you're looking to market, and if someone says, look, you should start blogging, or you should go to LinkedIn, you should put an advertisement in this particular journal, you can really sum up really quickly the likelihood of your success in marketing or advertising in that space by simply asking yourself, what is the reason why people are there? Now, if the reason why people are there is closely aligned as the reason they might want to buy from you, then you've got some potential to make things work. You still have to get the marketing message right. You still have to get the offer right, and the pricing, everything else. But still, you've got some potential. So let's take an example. Let's say you're selling refrigerators, and someone says, look, people are buying like crazy on TikTok. It's the latest thing. You link to Instagram and blah, 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 blah. Well, the reason that people are on TikTok is not to buy appliances, right? They're there to be entertained, perhaps to reach out and see what someone else is up to and so on. Facebook, friends, family, entertainment, YouTube, education, whatever. But they're not primarily in those places to buy appliances, and particularly more expensive appliances like a fridge. But if you put an advertisement in the local newspaper that's got a section for home improvement, or it's got a section for interior design, then the reason why people are reading that particular section is more closely aligned to the reason why they might want to buy from you. So you've got a better chance of that. So that gives you the strategic perspective. So it doesn't really matter what group it is. If the reason is that they're there is not closely aligned, similar at least, if not the same, to the way they might buy from you, then you're going to waste your money, you're going to waste your time.
Well, what's the answer then? Is there an effective way to market your services?
Yeah, so you could save yourself a lot of money and a lot of heartache by not doing your marketing or advertising into groups of people that are not there for a reason which is similar to yours. I mean, for example, I run a lot of webinars. We get our audiences from people who have email lists of small business owners, coaches, consultants, trainers, etc., who want more clients, who want to grow their business. So a really good partner for us, if you like, I call it an OPN partner, other people's networks, is someone who is doing something similar to us. They're in sales, they're in marketing of some description. So if they have an email list full of subscribers who have expressed an interest in growing the business through sales or marketing, then that's similar to the reason they might buy from us. So that person sends an email out to the list saying, hey, there's this strange, bald-headed Australian guy doing a webinar. Maybe you should check it out. And so the subscribers click the link and they register and they come to the webinar and we pick up more clients. So that works because the reason they're in the other person's email list is closely aligned to the reason they might buy from us.
Once you identify another person's network and it does align with yours, how do you then get onto their network? How do you market yourself with their network?
What effective marketing does is it puts an offer in front of someone that we're pretty sure is already looking for that offer. So identifying them is very, very easy. It's the easiest thing in the world. The trick is to give them something that they're already looking for. And through that something, which I can give you examples in a second, to establish rapport, respect, relatability, and reciprocity, the 4 R's of psychological allure. So let's say there's Susan Jones, and Susan has a list of 10,000 email subscribers. Or I know she's got a big following, and she doesn't know me from a bar of soap. And I'm thinking, boy, I'd love her to invite all her subscribers to my webinar. That could be quite profitable. So I email Susan. I say, hey, Susan, you don't know me, but my name's Tom. And, I'd love to talk to you about maybe doing some cross-marketing. I probably won't get a response from that email because she doesn't know me and she could think I'm just a spammer or, is he a BS artist? Is he a hype merchant? Do I want my brand associated? Why would I commit to a meeting? It's kind of like a first date when I don't know this guy from Barstow. But if I Google Susan and I come home and see, yep, she's ideal. She would be a great partner and we could do a swap and we could both benefit and everything else. And I see she's on podcasts and I see she's presenting webinars and I see she's got her own podcast. And so she's actively marketing to my target market. And I reach out to her and say, Susan, I've seen a couple of your podcast appearances. I would love to have you on my show. Could you click here, please, and just see if you think it's a fit? And the click takes her to a page that tells her how many email subscribers we'd expose her to. That's a really short interview and it's easy to book and there's virtually no preparation. So I'm giving her an offer that she's looking for. She wants to get a message out to a target market, which I have. She wants it to do that in the most efficient and effective. So the next thing is she's booked a call to come on my podcast. Now, that's just one, for instance. So I've given her something that I know she's already looking for. I don't have to convince her. She doesn't even have to know who I am. Eyes are going to open. She's going to lean forward and she's going to book that call. Have the podcast. During the podcast, which is an extraordinary way to establish a deep level of respect, rapport, relatability, and reciprocity. In my podcasts are like 10 minutes long, so it doesn't take long. So we do the podcast. The interview is finished, and I congratulate her on the interview if that's sincere, and say, "Hey, Susan, I couldn't help but noticing, we're kind of targeting the same target market." And at that point, they go, "Yeah, I was thinking about that as well." I said, I wonder if you'd be open to having a conversation about how we might be able to grow each other's email list. And they lean forward and their eyes open. They go, yeah, because I'm offering her something I know she's already looking for. What have you got in mind? And then it's game on. So the establishment of the rapport and the respect, relatability, reciprocity before you propose is really important. And that's kind of like effectively what I'm offering someone initially is a speed date to see if we like each other, a 10-minute podcast interview. And at the end of the speed date, I'm not even proposing marriage. I'm just saying, do you want another date, something a bit longer, maybe a dinner out in the town, metaphorically speaking. So we've got to be patient in our marketing. We've got to take people as far as they're willing to go with an offer that they're looking for, and then we take them to the next step. It's what I call the bake trail. But first thing is look for lists, and I can't emphasize this enough. It's not enough to have a list full of your ideal clients.
Does that mean then that you should have a decent email list?
Yeah, it does. And I started doing marketing through other people's networks, and I've used that almost exclusively since 1995. So, a couple of years now. And everyone starts with zero lists. No one's born with an email list, right? It doesn't sort of come out alongside the umbilical cord. So, you got to start. And a lot of people go, oh, I don't have an email list. I can't get into the OPN game. I can't get into this cross-marketing game, which is virtually free to run and highly profitable. I can't do it. So the point is that everyone's got an email list. You've got 3 clients already. That's an email list. Just start, and you start doing cross-marketing with people who have small email lists. That's okay. But the fastest way to grow your email list is to be doing marketing, cross-marketing, OPN, other people's networks, because you'll get people from their email list onto your email list who are interested in your subject matter. And you rinse and repeat. It's like a snowball going downhill. And you can establish an email list really quickly by using what I call a panel strategy, where you run a webinar and you invite 3 guests which you interview, and the subject of the webinar is on your specialty. And so you're attracting, and the 3 panelists, their entry ticket is they have to send an email to their email list saying, hey, I'm going to be on a panel, come along and listen to us. So there's 2 other guests as well. So that's their entry price to get in. So you're using the panelists to drive the registrations, and all those registrations, because you're running it, are legitimately and ethically and spam-wise on your email list. There's a process then of education about what happens next for those new subscribers. So you've got the 3 panelists there. The reason the panelists, the entry ticket is they send an email to their list about the webinar panel. Motivation for being there might be to help you, but it also is more likely that they'll get exposure to the other 2 panelists. So it's a cool little way where you can very quickly establish an email list of probably at the least 200 people and possibly even 1,000 or more. And that's all you need to start with. Mature marketers, first thing they look at, if they're looking to promote something of yours, is the quality of that thing they're promoting, because they're going to send a recommendation to their gold mine. They're going to let you into their gold mine, basically, which is your email subscriber list. The most valuable thing in my business is the email subscriber list. They're going to give you exposure to that, and they want to make sure that those subscribers are happy that you've been recommended. So email list size is not number one thing that smart marketers or mature marketers look for. It's the quality of the content that they're promoting on your behalf. But yes, to get into the OPN game, you're going to have an email list. It doesn't matter if it's small, just start.
That was Tom Polland, founder of Leadsology. Business Essentials Daily is a SoundCartel podcast. Producers are Nick Schildberger, Chris Ashmore, Jeff Waters and myself. Technical production by Pete Letts. I'm Nicole Goodman. Thanks for listening. We'll bring you more Be Daily next week. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.